Hello, I welcome you all to another session of Religious and Moral Education for JHS2. We are discussing puberty and puberty rights, and we'll be looking specifically today at puberty. Once again, you are welcome to today's Religious and Moral Education for Form 2. In our previous lesson, we discussed privileges and responsibilities of the Ghanaian citizen. Today we are starting with a whole new lesson, and the topic is puberty and puberty rights. And in this lesson or in this session, we'll be discussing puberty. I am expectant that by the end of this lesson, my student will be able to explain the meaning of puberty, identify some physical, emotional, and psychological changes experienced by the individual during puberty, and also will be able to explain problems associated with puberty. Puberty is a stage of change in the human body from childhood to adulthood, in which it is possible to reproduce. It can also be referred to as a transitional period from childhood to adulthood. So puberty is a stage, it's a period, it's a time frame in every human's life when they make a transition from being children into becoming adults. And according to the World Health Organization, that's the WHO, puberty takes place between the ages of 10 and 19. And this period is characterized with physical, emotional, and psychological changes. Every human being, when he is born, will pass through the stages of puberty before becoming an adult. And so looking at the period of puberty and the characteristics of puberty, then we can say that puberty can be referred to as adolescence. Just like during adolescence, as you have learned already in social studies, in puberty, there are physical changes that occur in boys and girls. First of all, let's look at some changes in boys, and then we'll look at some changes in girls. For boys, their voices deepen. Boys develop a break in their voice. So, the little tiny voice that every little boy has develops into a more louder and deep voice. Secondly, they develop broadened chest. Boys develop from a flat, slender chest into a broadened and muscular chest. Naturally, boys' chest becomes wider and broadened, and their shoulders become thicker. 3, they begin to look masculine. Then 4, boys grow pubic hair. This is one of the physical changes in boys. They grow pubic hair in their armpits and on their genitals, around their male genitals, on top of their penis and around their scrotum or their testes. Then their genitals enlarge and they begin to ejaculate. During puberty, boys develop bigger genitals, or their genitals grow in size. It becomes bigger, and they begin to ejaculate, meaning they begin to produce sperms or semen, and therefore they can make a woman pregnant. It is a stage where boys develop rapidly. You see them growing at a very fast rate. You see him today, you don't see him in the next 2 weeks, and you meet him again and you are like, hey, you've grown so tall, you've grown so big. Yes, it is because they are in the period of puberty. Now let's look at some changes in girls during puberty. Physical changes. Their breast enlarges. That is, girls begin to develop big breasts, though the size may be relative depending on the person's genetical formation or hormonal makeup. Some may be bigger than some, but generally, girls' breasts become bigger or enlarges during puberty. Then 2, girls develop broader hips and slender waist. During puberty, girls' hips begin to develop. It becomes broader or wider, while their waist becomes slim or slender. 3, girls' reproductive system develops. So their reproductive organs increase in size and their reproductive system mature up so that they become prepared and ready for childbirth because they are growing to become adults. Girls also grow pubic hair during puberty. They grow hair in their armpits and on their genitals. During puberty, girls experience their first menstruation and continue to menstruate afterwards. Menstruation is the monthly flow of blood from the reproductive system or the vagina of the ladies, and they begin to experience that during puberty. Then, just like in boys, girls also show signs of rapid growth. They grow rapidly. So in a space of a few years, they grow so quickly. These are some physical changes in boys and girls during adolescence, during puberty. Emotional changes during puberty. Though the physical changes may differ because of the difference in gender or sex, for emotional changes, it is common to both boys and girls. During adolescence or during puberty, the boy or girl begin to crave for recognition. The child wants to be recognized and treated as an adult. They want to be involved in decision making, and their consent should be sought in matters concerning them and the family. They become sexually sensitive. They develop sexual sensitivity. They begin to develop sexual desire. And so they begin to watch sexually motivated materials, sexual magazines, and sometimes want to even watch sexual movies. And so they want to practice sex. Then the desire for independence. At puberty, the child desires so much for independence. They want to have their own room. They want to have their own towels. They want to have their own properties. They want to own certain things for themselves and claim ownership of it. They want independence. They want to take decisions on their own, go to wherever they want to go on their own, make their own choices. They think they should be allowed to do all those things because they are of age. Then another emotional change during puberty is that emotionally, the child becomes conscious of their appearance. They are conscious of what they wear, how they look, and all that. So they want to put on fanciful clothes. Boys who want to dress to attract. Girls who want to even sometimes put on some few makeups or some little makeup. Sometimes want to wear their parents' earrings. They want to fix lashes. They want to do their hair and all that, because they are conscious of their appearance. Then, at this stage, they also want to choose their friends and are mostly attracted to the opposite sex, and when not guided, may indulge in premarital sexual activities that may result in teenage pregnancy. Mood swings is also very common during puberty, especially in girls. Mood swings is very common during puberty, especially in girls. The stress of having to change sanitary towels during menstruation and sometimes the pains that accompany it causes mood swings in girls. During adolescence or during puberty, both boys and girls become shy and sometimes rebellious. And so they don't want to be scolded in front of their friends. They don't want to be rebuked in class or corrected for doing the wrong thing. What are the causes of these changes, or what is the reason for all these changes that occur in adolescence? During puberty, what is the reason for the changes that occur in the child during puberty? Naturally, changes are part of human. Because of our hormonal makeup, the hormones that are in humans, and the genetic formation, humans change. And so, it is natural that God made humans to change throughout their lifetime. So when in the process of growth, you get to a point where humans have to change, or there have to be some changes. Then some of the changes are influenced by what they see in the environment. So the kind of movies they watch, the people they see at home, the people in their communities, they pick some traits and character formations from these people, and it affects the changes they go through during puberty. Peer influence is another factor when it comes to changes during puberty. What friends do, what their peer groups do, what they see other people doing, also influences what kind of behavior they put up or what kind of lifestyle they live. Then poor socioeconomic home is also a contributing factor, not poor socio-economic, but rather poor socioeconomic home. Poor socioeconomic home is also a contributing factor to the changes we see during adolescence. And so, if parents are not able to provide for their children, their children in the stage of puberty, they're not able to meet their needs. Sometimes they are compelled to put up all sort of lifestyles so that they can gain what they need for themselves. Problems associated with puberty. During puberty, children become critical to control because they feel they are matured and so should be left alone. That is one major problem. And so parents and guardians should know this and then be careful to control their children with much more care so that they will avoid confusion most of the time. They become sexually active and anxious to practice sex, and if not monitored, may indulge in premarital sexual activities, which may result in teenage pregnancies and early fatherhood. Another problem is their desire for money. At the stage of puberty, both boys and girls desire so much to have money, to be able to buy all the fanciful things, the newest gadgets, the trending clothes, and all that. And if all these are not provided for by their parents and they are not monitored and advised or counseled, they may indulge in all kinds of activities to get money, which may not lead them to a good end. Choice of career and choice of school is also a problem when parents fail to reason with the child in the puberty stage. It may cause confusion and hatred. Children at this stage generally show little respect for adults and so must be advised. Counseling sessions can be organized in schools, in churches, and in communities to advise the children or to advise the child in the puberty stage and encourage them to put up good behaviors worth emulating. They are easily irritated and provoked, and so more often should be calmed down and controlled and convinced to avoid confusion. Having said this, I hope today you have learned a lot from the meaning of puberty to the changes that occur in boys and girls physically and the emotional changes that occur in boys and girls, the reasons for the changes, and then some problems associated with puberty. Finally, I want you to answer the following questions as a test of your knowledge on the subject or on the topic that has been discussed. Number 1, what is puberty? Number 2, identify 2 physical changes in girls during puberty. Number 3, state 2 emotional changes during puberty. And then 4, state 2 problems associated with puberty. I wish you good luck. Stay safe. Observe all COVID-19 protocols. Don't step out without your mask. It is illegal. You'll be jailed if you can't pay the fine, at least for 4 years. So be careful. Until we meet again, stay safe and keep learning. Bye-bye.